What up, guys? Joachim here, Joachim Justin Morgan, aka Joachim the Convert. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the ideas of literal truth versus truth, or versus, maybe that's not the best way to say that. What is literal, what is tangible, what is material, what is made of matter versus what is true. And obviously, there's overlap within those two ideas, those two things. So it's not really juxtaposed to one another, but they are different ways, I think, of describing reality. And this comes from, I off and on, I've been kind of a sub at the church for the church school, like Sunday school, I guess, after the liturgy when everybody's eating coffee hour. There's like a time for all the kids and everybody to eat, and then there are classes on the faith, just teaching the Orthodox faith. So my church has been going through the Antiochian Archdiocese study plan for high school students on the book of Matthew. And this one was on the Our Father prayer. And at one point, somebody referenced the book of Job in the class. So this really isn't related to the curriculum exactly. But someone referenced the book of Job, and one of the kids said, "Isn't that one of those books that isn't real?" And I said that's an interesting way of saying that, because it's kind of the wrong question. The question isn't, is it real? The question is it true? And what he was really asking is, did this literally happen, this story, this book that we read, or was it like some kind of parable type story that was told and written down and passed on? And of course, the answer is we don't know. I don't know that. It's very old. It's one of the oldest texts that we have, but it's just the wrong question. The question isn't, is it true, or is it real? Is it literal in the sense of like, did it actually happen? The question is it true? And I pointed to the liturgy. The liturgy is a perfect example of something that is, the way I described it in that class was that it is a joining together, a meeting of heaven and earth. And not just two different places, heaven and earth at one place at one time, but it is a joining together of all of time. So all history, all time, all the saints from every era, all meeting together at one place in the divine liturgy. And that is really what we experience. That's what we go through. Do we see that visually? Is that tangible? Can you reach out and touch that? Can you feel that? Can you, is it made of matter or something that you can put under a microscope and see? No, it's not. It is mystical. That's why it's a mystery of the church. That's why the Apostle Paul uses some of these terms, mysterion, to describe some of the elements of what we participate in the church with. And so those are things that are true. That is true. Every Orthodox Christian that partakes in the liturgy should stand up and say that, yes, that is true. It is a joining together of heaven and earth. And it is a joining together of all space-time throughout all the time, joining in this one experience of the liturgy, this time outside of time, this eighth day beyond this world, where we meet and we accept Christ. We partake in the body and blood of Christ. It is a union, a meeting together with Christ. And do you tangibly see something like that? For 99% of us, no. I have heard of those very special priests and monks and saints that actually do see some kind of transfigurement, I guess, that goes on during that. I want to say St. John Maximovich might have been, I don't remember. I know all these stories, and I get some of the saints' names running together, but I know all these stories of saints who would like be elevated off the ground, or they would see visions of things and go running out of the church screaming, and it's like, Christ is in all things, and running all over. So there are those special groups of people that actually do see something more than the rest of us. But for the majority of all of us, it is something that we accept just as a mystery of the church. And when we talk about the scripture, it's the same. Much of it is recorded like as a historical event. Sometimes, things are told in parables, and sometimes in those very ancient documents and writings that we get from the Old Testament, it is actually just something that we accept that it's true, but did it actually happen? I mean, in some cases, like the book of Job, I don't know. It's more important that it's true. It is a spiritual book. It's something written for us to grow in. That doesn't mean like that I don't believe that like events like Moses or the prophet Elijah or those people didn't actually exist. And I think probably their stories actually happened pretty much in the way that they're written down, but more than likely, because it's the way the church has always been, there's things that they experienced, they saw, that they participated in and interacted with that other people around them may not have seen in the same way. So, I mean, all of those things are true at the same time. But the question really isn't, even in that, were they literal? The question is more important to be asked, is it true? And I think if you're at least an Orthodox Christian, then the answer to that, of course, is yes, it is true. The scripture is true. The creeds are true. The church is true. And it is something to participate in and experience, not something to just simply believe, but your belief should lead to the experience that you have there. So you guys take it easy, and I will talk to you in a video coming soon. Hopefully that has come across well. I'm sure you'll tell me if it hasn't.